How's it? Today is Monday, January 25th. It is the last day in this block power volume portion of the training block, and I'm at 76 today for 5 sets of 4. It was really hard. So last week I did 73, if I recall correctly, and I ended up failing one rep um, altogether, and then I came back and reattempted it in the same set. But this week at 76, I don't think that 3 kilo difference really meant anything to me, like in my head mentally, until I loaded it and I was having a hard time. Basically, um, my positions were okay. It's just that I didn't feel particularly quick and spectacularly strong, if that paints a good picture. You'll be able to see what it looks like when we get to weight. But here's my last warm up set, and at this point, I was thinking, oh my, this is going to be harder than I wanted it to be. So you can already see there that I'm catching significantly lower than I would have um, at a lower rep range or at a lower weight. Like overall, that those reps don't look too bad. It's just like the amount of effort that I'm putting forward is significant. So here's my first set. Actually, on my first set, I end up doing a full snatch on the final rep, I believe, and it was just, it like I've been saying, it didn't feel super great. Like even that was very close to the edge of the power, and then this is definitely the one where I end up full snatching. And yeah, I'm not sure if that's a factor of me being a little bit tired or from it being the heavy weight. So this is my second set. Those first 2 reps were pretty solid, and then I actually end up failing um, my last rep right here. And it's just, these are the first 2 sets that I had, and in my head I was thinking like this would happen towards the end, but it happened here, and I was getting really frustrated and kind of disheartened as far as like my overall progress, because I think that I should be strong enough to do these, right? And I have the level of execution to do them. It's just that like I don't know, I couldn't put it together. Maybe if I lifted in the day later in the day, because these are all morning sessions, so everything um, since the first day have been all morning sessions. But yeah, like overall, like that looks like a solid rep there, and yeah, I'm not super satisfied with how these are looking. As far as like again the overall effort, I think the positions and the speed um are they're okay. I will just say that they are okay. Um, but yeah, like I think that the first couple reps on each set are really solid. The problem that I'm having, I think, as the set goes on, is not only the upper back being more and more tired and the legs being more and more tired, but simply I don't have as good grip of the bar from the start position, because when I set up, it's perfect, and you can see like every first rep is really solid, and then as they go on later and later, it gets a little more and more loose. And I think if I could reset my straps after every rep, like to the point where they are at the beginning, I think that a lot of these would look a lot better. But 4 reps, that would take a long time for each individual set. Yeah, overall, these are pretty good as far as the last set, right? After that, I do my snatch RDLs. I think last week I actually ended up doing 90. So this week I did 90 as well. Last week, 90 I think was the first time I did 90, but today I was actually planning to go 90, 90, and then 95, 95. So normally I do 4 sets of my top weight. So last week was the exact jumps would be 60, 70, 80, and then 4 sets of 90. And for the sake of progression, I wanted to do 95 today, but I didn't think I would have been able to do 4 sets of 95. So I wanted to kind of hedge my bets and just give me the best chance of executing 1 or 2 or a few sets of 95. But it turns out that these 90s were a lot harder than I remember them being, so I kept with 90 for all of the sets. You can see there that my lower back rounded even just a little, and that's not something I want to happen, especially if I'm going to be going up 5 more kilos, right? So I just played it safe, played it smart, and did the sets at 90. As far as the progression goes, I think I have to always be aware that not only, at least for accessories, not only am I doing more volume for the other things, if I just maintain the level of volume or intensity for my accessories, then theoretically, based on me doing more work, more weight, higher volume, what have you, for the other portions of my lift, if I maintain that same level of accessory, then I'm still making progress, because they're not separate. They are separate exercises, but I'm doing them on the same day, and overall my whole body is the same body that's like, handling all of the stresses. And so I've progressed from 73 to 76 for the block powers, and then I'm going to end up going from 90 to 95 for this exercise, the snatch push press plus the overhead squat. And this top set was really, really, really hard. I am honestly surprised how hard it was, because I think I'm generally pretty strong at locking things out and then overhead squatting it. But 95 I think is probably the highest I've done in a very long time. Well, for at least four reps, because over Christmas break I did end up doing 125 for a 1 push press plus 1 overhead squat, not for 5 push presses. So here we go to 95. Yeah. So to put it in perspective, that 80, my last warm-up set, if I recall correctly, was my top set on week 1. So if I went 80, 85, 90, and then 95, that would be 4 weeks. So yeah, that is kind of, as far as like progression goes, that's actually pretty insane to think about, that I went up 15 kilos in just 4 weeks. But yep, after that I do my pull-up pyramid. That I actually tried to video this, but it didn't turn out super well. But last week I did up to 7 and then back down to 1 from 7. But this week I was able to add in that 8th set, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm progressing with that as well. Finishing off with some GHD sit-ups. I think I do need to pull the foothold a little bit closer. I made a comment about that last week, but I didn't pull it close enough today. Overall, like, pretty okay workout. I'm progressing, so I shouldn't be too upset. So thank you for watching. Shoots.